Shelter quarterly report. Hello, Lydia.
Admire this adorable picture. It's my granddaughter. She adopted 2 kitties. They adopted her. Okay. Sorry. So I had to split our community engagement into 3 months because we had had so much going on. Our marketing director has been doing a great job, and we've been super busy with pet therapy, student groups, different events in the community, and we have grown our volunteer base substantially, so they're doing a lot of these events for our group, which we really appreciate. So I won't go through all the things we've been doing. If you want to go ahead, go through July, August. So I don't have a thing to change it. In August, we were invited to the WILX Make an Impact campaign. Capital Area Humane Society in Jackson County were invited for this week-long event, and that did garner $2,800 for the animal shelter, which we were really excited about. In September, we attended the Bright Walls and Bright Paws event, and one of our pet therapy dogs won the Best Dressed Award. Her name is Dottie. That was in September. There she is. And on the other side of her little red wagon, it says JCAS. So she's become quite popular. And coming up in October, we have our trunk or treat, which has grown also pretty big. It's a lot of fun. So if you have a pet or kids you want to bring out for that event, we have over 20 trunks attending from 5 to 7 on October 22nd. And it's always a great time. Our intake for this last quarter has been very high, both cats and dogs. I think there's a lot of people that are being evicted or moving and can't take their pets. So, and not just in our county, but regional wise, we are all being inundated with pets that people can no longer care for. You can go on. Thank you. Animal control has been very busy as well. A lot of dogs running at large. We've had a lot of cases where people have just been abandoning animals because they don't have any place to take them. The building is coming along very well. We have floors in, and we should have another update this week on what's next in the progress. So, but everything's going pretty well, and we're pretty excited about that. This quarter grant, our washing machine died that we've had, I don't know how long we've had, it's been there since I started, but we were able to secure a $15,000 grant to pay for a new commercial washing machine. Can you believe how much they cost? It's a lot. Yeah. And we were able to find a new crematory that reduced our cost from $12 to $17 per unit to $17, just a flat rate unit. So that should be a substantial savings for us as well. We usually accept animals from other shelters in different states. And it just so happens that the Best Friends Society was offering us money to take dogs from Detroit. That's something we were doing anyway, but it was nice to have that $500 extra bonus for taking in the animals. I received a nice text message from one of the veterinarians in Jackson, and it just came out of the blue, and from a doctor at Kibbe Park, and it was just nice to know that the veterinarians that were being able to serve that group of people in the county as well. She kind of speaks for a lot of the area veterinarians because she's part of the a leader of their animal welfare group. So that was good to have that feedback. We had a post go viral of this. It's two cats really, but we posted it as one, a two-headed cat because they were snuggling so close together. It was supposed to be a joke, and yeah, there was a very large debate online whether it was one cat or two cats. But my favorite one was the one it was shared in Bangladesh, and they had the picture of the cats, but there was written, all in different language. So that was kind of funny. Yeah. So that was that's the animal shelter quarterly report in a nutshell.
Committee members, do we have any questions? Commissioner Bear.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, Lydia. Question from a constituent. I would like to be able to get an answer to. When I transport an animal across state lines, I'm expected to have a certificate of health that shows that I'm not bringing a diseased animal into some other state. When we do the travel out of state and bring back a bunch of dogs or cats, I don't know if we do cats, but we certainly do dogs. Do we have that type of health certificate in every single one of those animals that we import?
Yep, every animal comes with an individual vaccination record, and there's also a one intrastate document that's a health certificate. It's a travel document that makes them eligible to cross state lines. So they have to be cleared by a vet for health to travel. And that document, we have a copy, and there's a copy for the state that goes to the state as well.
Okay, and that is the same for dogs of any age?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anything that comes to us from out of state has a state document that clears them for travel. It's signed by a veterinarian, so.
Okay, because the concern is there's dog diseases or ailments in southern states that we don't have. And we're bringing dogs from southern states to Michigan. So we are sure that we are not bringing those diseases along with them.
Right. I mean, there's never a 100% guarantee, but they are all examined by a veterinarian and cleared as healthy for travel prior to leaving their state and entering ours. And we abide by all the state regulations. So there's any vaccination requirements that we have that another state doesn't have, they have to have that before they enter as well, such as leptospirosis. So states that we transport from aren't required to have those vaccines, but Michigan is. So those animals have to get that vaccine before they can come here.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Appreciate the work, Lydia, especially what I always see from your reports and I like is you're creative in finding funding sources and being mindful of taxpayer dollars. And you've really made a department I think the community can be proud of. So thanks for your work.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a great day.
All right. Commissioners, I'd be looking for a motion to receive the report. Moved by Williams. Supported by Walls. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously, takes us to the 12th District Court, semi-annual with Jeremy. Hello, Jeremy.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm not asking for anything today. I've come to you a lot the last couple months. So you have my reports. Just as a reminder, monthly we upload these reports to our website, so those are available to you anytime. So before we get into some of the reports, annually, the State Court Administrator's Office does a customer satisfaction survey. And this year was no different. And however, because of Zoom and because of a lot of the virtual pieces, they did it all virtually and online, I guess, with a QR code. And when we got the results back, our response was dismal. The amount of people that actually got onto the website and did the online survey was virtually non-existent. And we utilized that information to look internally to see our practices and how we operate. And so that was bothersome to the district court, and so we conducted our own survey internally, and we did it the old school way, which is having tables at two places in the courthouse in the district court area. And not gonna lie, we bribed them with candy to come over and talk with us, and then have them fill out the survey. And we had over 200 respondents fill out that survey in just under a week's time, which is typical of what we've done in the past. And I wasn't able to get a full report really to show you, and I can send that on to you. But the four main questions, I was able to get my court business done. I was treated with courtesy and respect by court staff. The judge or magistrate treated everyone with courtesy and respect. And then as I leave the court, I understand what happened to my case. Those are the core components that we wanted to look at. And I'm happy to report I was able to get my court business done. 95% of the respondents either agreed or strongly agreed to that. I was treated with courtesy and respect by our court staff. 98% of the respondents agreed or strongly agreed to that. And then the judge or magistrate treated everyone with courtesy and respect. 78% agreed or strongly agreed with that. And then as I leave the court, I understand what happened to my case. 96% either agreed or strongly agreed. And some of the open-ended questions of just great service. It was rough, but I was treated fairly. I think that's fair. We got some others that were specific, that called out specific staff, and we addressed that. Staff is always courteous and friendly and helpful, always given respect. So I just wanted to update you on that as we just kind of got those results back on that survey. As I go through the report, you have it, I guess, if there's any questions. The one thing that we added this year with the Sheriff's Department doing the front security is they are monitoring by the metal detector. There's clicks as you walk through. So monitoring the attendance and people entering the courthouse. So we've added that to the security report.
Chairman Shotwell has a question.
We used to receive a report that showed the different items that people were mistakenly trying to bring through the metal detector. Do you still have that, produce that list? Is that in that report? I haven't paged through the whole district report yet.
Yeah, so, we have sharp objects, chemicals, tools. There's general, not specific items. And so that's, we've had no firearms. We've had 3 instances where ammunition was tried to bring through. Sometimes it's in a bag, sometimes it's in a pocket. I don't understand that. The majority of it are lighters. I gotta tell you, there's a ton of lighters that get brought in. But we get a lot of mace and that type of pieces, and then pocket knives. We give the defendant or the people coming in the opportunity to take it back to their car. We're not like, you can't take this in right now. And oftentimes they'll take it back. Sometimes they go, I don't want it, and we have a bin that they can throw it in, and that gets destroyed later.
Sorry, Commissioner Bear.
Good morning, Jeremy. If someone inadvertently leaves their pocket knife in their pocket, are they arrested?
Oh, no, like I just said, if they come through and they have a pocket knife in their pocket or one of those bullets or mace, they'll come through, either will be picked up with the package scanner that you guys approved a couple months ago and is 100 times better at picking up things, so I appreciate that. Or if it comes through that, then we'll say, hey, what's this? And if it's in a purse, we'll ask them to pull that out. If it's in their pocket and it goes off, we'll wand it. And if it continues, I need you to empty your pockets. Oh, I'm sorry, you have that. You can either take that back to your vehicle, or we can dispose of it here. So,
Thank you.
yep. Any other questions?
No more questions? You're done?
I'm done, yeah.
Oh, thank you, sir. Okay. Appreciate the work you're doing down there, and have a great day.
Have a great day, everybody.
Commissioners, I'd be looking for a motion to receive the semi-annual report. Moved by Bear, supported by Williams. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. Takes us to item D, Airport Mdot Aeronautics Sponsor Contract Number 2022-0867. Hello, Juan.
Good morning, Commissioners. It's going to be tipping over. Yeah, it is. Okay, here we go. Today I'm here to request approval for the Mdot contract that will design two projects, the removal of the trees on the approach to runway 25 on the airport, and also the design of the rehabilitation of taxiway Bravo. That includes the lights and the signs, as well as the design of the taxi lanes on the east side of the airport. Both of these projects were in our 10-year plan with the capital improvement program, and they are 95% funded by the federal government and 5% by the state. So the county will be responsible for 5% of this $84,495 contract.
Committee members, any questions? Commissioner Bear.
Good morning, Juan. Last month, we approved some easements to remove trees that were too tall in the approach area. And were there any obstructions on those 5 properties other than the trees?
No, sir. No, there were only trees that are going to need to be cut. So just for clarification, this is part 3 of a 4-part project. The first part was the signing, the acquisition of the easements. Then we actually purchased the easements. Now we're designing the removal of the trees, which basically means the survey that we have is about 2 years old. So they're going to go back and going to resurvey, make sure that we don't cut any trees that don't need to be cut. And then there'll be a 4th part of this project, which will be the cutting of the trees, and that will be probably sometime in January of next year.
Okay. This is a design project.
Correct.
And the design is just the removal of the trees. How do you design cutting a tree down? I've cut many trees down without a design. I just, where do I want it fall? And I cut the notch. So what is involved in hiring somebody to design the removal of a tree?
So the design of this particular project is $12,500, and that includes having the consultant hire a sub-consultant that will go out to the 5 properties, verify the trees that are going to be cut, mark them so that they're going to be cut, and then going out for bids to hire the company that will cut the trees, and that will be the next part of the contract. So it's government in its fullest form. We actually just paid a lawsuit, I believe, in something where some of the trees were cut lower than they were supposed to have been cut. They were cut to the ground, and we went to court on that. So basically, we have to be really careful. Not only do we have an approval to cut the trees on the 5 properties that we purchased the easements, but we just need to be really careful that we don't cut the wrong trees. It's basically what it comes down to.
Okay,
For that,
thank
we're
you.
paying $12,500.
All right, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Juan, isn't it in accordance with FAA regulations as well? There's some regulations that have to be followed with the FAA, is that correct?
Well, everything's being done per the FAA requirements. But like I said, this is basically government at work. We went out and we paid the consultant to go out and survey the properties that we think we needed to purchase the easements on. We paid for that. Then we went out and we paid to have a subcontractor go out and negotiate the prices on those properties. And this is all per FAA guidelines. And now we're basically paying somebody to go out and triple verify and mark the trees that we're going to be cutting in the wintertime. And then we'll come back. The next project is expected to be $100,000 to cut trees in 5 properties. Yes.
Okay, committee members, be looking for a motion to forward this to the full board. Moved by Bear, supported by Walls. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. Takes us to item E, airport contract for professional consultant services, rehabilitate Taxi B and East Hangar taxiways.
Okay, thank you. This is the actual contract that we do with the consultant itself, which is Mdot Hunt. And this is to approve them to design the rehabilitation of Taxiway Bravo. The funds for this contract have already been approved or will be approved hopefully with the Mdot contract. So we need to have a contract with the consultant and then a contract with Mdot. So this is the contract with the consultant to design the rehabilitation of Taxiway Bravo.
Committee members, are there any questions? I believe this is an action item today, Commissioner Bear. Am I correct, Deborah?
I'm sorry,
This is an action item, not going to the full board?
correct, this can be approved at committee.
This can be approved at committee. Commissioner Bear, would you like to? Your motion? Yes. Okay.
I'll move that the committee approve this request.
Okay, motion by Bear, supported by Walls. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes unanimously. Thank you, Juan. Have a great day.
Commissioners.
Takes us to Jackson County Department of Transportation, calcium chloride. Hello, Angie.
Good morning. All right, so our first item is the liquid that we treat our salt with in the wintertime. So we took that to bid, and we are asking the board to approve the awards of our calcium chloride, liquid calcium chloride to liquid calcium chloride sales for 1 year with a possible extension of 1 year, not to exceed $72,000. Oh, because of the amount, it is wrote for full board, but I believe it can be approved here at committee.
The 1-year extension is what makes it ineligible.
Okay.
With that being
What is the
said,
what is the dollar limit that the committee can approve without going to the full board?
75,000, but
75.
anything more than a 1-year contract needs to go to the full board. So that 1-year extension makes it ineligible.
Well, I'll move that we award the contract for purchase of calcium chloride for the, as recommended.
to the full board?
No, just pass it here. It's in our dollar limit.
I'm going to refer it to the administrator again, if she would, please.
I thought you just said $75,000.
Caveat to that.
The financial limit is 75,000. However, it's a 1-year contract or less that would qualify to be at the committee. So it has to be both. This is a 1-year contract with a possible 1-year extension. So that 1-year extension requires it to go to the full board. If you wish, it's up to the committee. That's the policy.
You retract it? Is that what you said, Commissioner? Did you want to offer another, or? No? Okay. Okay, moved by Walls, supported by Williams. I'm sorry. Go ahead. He retracted it. He did? Yes. Okay, moved by Walls, supported by Williams. Let's do a roll call vote.
Commissioner Bear,
Yes.
Commissioner Walls. Commissioner Shotwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams. Chairman Kennedy.
Yes,
Pass.
thank you. Dust control.
Sorry for the confusion. Thanks, Deborah, for correcting me. All right, so the next one is our dust control. We're asking the board to approve the purchase of our dust control services to Corrigan Environmental Solutions for 1 year with a possible 1-year extension at the cost not to exceed $275,000 per year. This is the glue, basically, to our gravel roads, so it holds our gravel roads together, and then it also controls the dust. And we do have 2 applications per year built into our budget for our gravel roads.
Okay, committee members, are there any questions? Seeing none, I'd be looking for a motion to forward it to the full board. Moved by Bear, supported by Williams, excuse me. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously, takes us to item H, Hollabell Road Contract.
Okay, so this is our typical Mdot contract for our federal aid grant projects. So we're asking the board to approve the signature of the contract by the chair, Mdot contract 225433 for improvements to Hollabell Road. This is a HMA overlay, so it's about a 2-inch resurfacing on the road from Springport North Village limits to the county line. The federal aid grant is the $561,491, and then JCDOT has $124,509 built into their '23 budget to pay for the match.
Committee members, any questions? If not, be looking for a motion to forward it to the full board. Moved by Bear, supported by Williams. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. Takes us down to the monthly report.
So some quick highlights from our monthly report. I am happy to stand here and say that Robinson Road is finally complete. Hopefully you guys have gotten to drive that project. The paint is freshly painted and the shoulders are on, so everyone's driving that road. We've gotten some compliments on it too, which is nice because we got a lot of negative feedback throughout the process. Mackey Boulevard is complete. That was a recycled road, and we worked with the businesses back in there when we paved it to try to not have delays for their deliveries, because there's a lot of on-time deliveries there that if they stop traffic, they would get rejected and then cause a lot of havoc for the plants there. So I believe that project went well. If you get over by Shealy, Wayland, and Sheridan, that is complete and paved now. And then the only paving for the, yep, sorry.
The Shealy Whalen project. We also got all the water issues solved that we had over there on the northwest corner, or southwest corner of it.
Yes, we did ditching, is southwest corner, so that's the,
Down by Mr. Arts and the golf course and all of that area.
oh, back there. Did you know of recent problems?
No, I don't. That's, I've not heard anything. I'm hoping that
Yeah,
we've got that long-term, since we rebuilt all that, we've got it all solved.
yeah, when we did that drainage project a year, time's flying, was it a year or two ago when we did that? I have not heard of any water problems there. We did the ditching over by the airport, or not the airport, the car wash there, and I believe, I think we still have restoration to do, but I believe that took care of the water problems that existed still. At the golf course? thing back there? Oh. Oh, okay. Good. We haven't had calls from them, so I think they're good. With the Leone paving, that is complete, the primary road paving on that project. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is the county farm project. We have the progress schedule that the contractor gave us in there, and you can see that they'll be mobilizing around Halloween. And their plan is to do some work yet this year with the completion of it in November of '23. Any questions?
Any questions, committee members? Commissioner Bear?
Good morning, Angie. Question, personal question, and I don't expect anything different than any other citizen gets. The ditch out in front of my road, out in front of my house, no longer flows anywhere. Or if it flows, it's just a slow trickle. So 150 yards of road frontage, I have water standing in it for months. So I can't mow it, and the grass in it gets waist high. Does the county repair these ditches so they flow like they did 20 years ago? Or do I have to just fix that myself?
Well, one, I don't know exactly what road you're talking about. I'm not sure where you live. If it's a road that we haven't had a project on, it's probably on a maintenance list to get cleaned out, which is a very long maintenance list. One thing that I go out in the field a lot and talk to residents about is, I know the residents don't like water standing in their ditch, but Dot is happy with water standing in your ditch. That means it's not on our road. I know, people don't like that, but that means our road's doing its job. We can go look at it if you call in and do a Q-alert to see if there's culverts that are plugged, because we jet out culverts to get it flowing. But if it's a re-ditching or a ditch clean out that needs to happen, that's a long list of roads that we are trying to prioritize. As you guys know, for a number of years now, construction was a huge priority at Dot, and maintenance, unfortunately, was put to the back burner. We're trying to balance that now. This year was the first year of focusing, trying to get back to maintenance, but also keep our construction moving. So you'll see an improvement on that, but you asked me to be honest, what I tell the citizens when I meet with them, and that is the honest answer. We are trying to get our ditches functioning again, but if there's water standing in a ditch, that's what they're meant for.
Thank you.
Commissioner Pileski?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the courtesy. Let me make a comment. I've got two things. First is, we had a storm here, about a month ago, a lot of wind, a lot of trees down. And with respect to trees and limbs that are down, the roadway is clear, but there's limbs and, debris and stuff on the side of the road. And residents are asking, well, when was the county going to come to clean that up? And I think my response was something along the lines of, I don't think they're going to if it's not in the way of the road. So I just want to understand, dealing again with the maintenance, I suppose, issue. What is our approach with respect to limbs and stuff that are on the side of the road, not in the roadway?
So it's almost the same answer as the ditch maintenance. It's a very, very, very low priority to us once it gets pushed out there. If there's ever a day that we have absolutely no construction projects or no higher priority maintenance, then we would get it cleaned up. But it's...
That gives me the answer I need to have for the resident, which is, if you want it to be gone anytime soon, you're going to have to take care of it yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. The second thing is with respect to Weeks Road. I know the guys have been out there working. I want to tell you about a couple of very nice comments I had from two different residents, one on each side of the enthusiasm for that project. Each of them have remarked to me about the fellows who are working out there, working hard, and being courteous and responsive to the questions that the residents have had. So if you'd pass that along to your crew, that, like I said, these are guys that are on both ends of the happiness spectrum with the Weeks Road project. So If you'd please pass that along. And thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, I will.
Commissioner Snow.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning. Just one question. I'm worried or wondering about, so when we've talked about the Blackman Road project, we've talked it's going to be 2 to 3 more seasons. And then on this year's ballot in Leone is a millage request to have their roads done. And my understanding is that that money's got to be expended within 3 years of it being bonded out. So we're about 3 years behind on Blackman Township now, and I understand the issues that have happened. How are we going to fit in Leone Township's project when the Blackman project is so far behind?
So the Leone projects that, if it was approved in November, we are asking them to wait to sell their bonds until later next year so that we have 3 construction seasons after. So that would give us 24, 25, 26. And the key is you have to expend their bond money. So it's the 70% of the entire project. So with, I think I've talked before, Spring Arbor and Summit, it was a 70-30 as you go. JCDOT had 30% constantly in that game there. Blackman was set up to have the 70% up front, and then the last 30% is all JCDOT funds. We are now on the last 30% that is entirely on JCDOT's dime, so that's why we have to get the 3 more years to do the construction, because we're not getting any more of Blackman's money, so it comes out of our MTF, so we have to budget for that. With the Leone project, if it passes, we'll set it up like Blackman, where it's got the 70-30, 70% paid by them up front, 30% paid by JCDOT in the back end. But what will be done differently is, as we collect that 70%, the costs of the project are about a 54 to 60% like cash outlay for JCDOT. So we'll put that money into, we won't spend it. It will be there so that on the back end, JCDOT's 30%, it should be a wash as long as we do what I'm saying, we keep that money protected. Does that make sense? I'd be happy to sit and talk more. I can show you on paper what I'm talking about, but it's basically the money that they pay will cover all cash outlay. Every year, we budget for our employees, their labor, right? So that's in our budget every year already. So JCDOT will not have to expend any more money in those first 3 years than what they already plan.
And then it's my understanding our 30% on these projects have actually been more than 30% that we're covering.
On the past projects, yes, but we have a strong project management team, and I will be fiscally responsible with the projects.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. I do appreciate the team's work and did receive a lot of positive feedback on the road work that was done in Leone Township. That's good to hear. I saw a lot of positive on social media, so thank you.
And we'll get you the list with the fixes. We have the list that we gave them when the township decided on what one they were going to put on the ballot. We just need to get it.
I was going to talk to you after the meeting, so,
We'll get it out for the public.
thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, be looking for a motion to receive the report. Moved by Williams. Supported by Bear. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. Takes us to item 5A. I'd need a motion to pay the claims. Moved by Wall, supported by Williams. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. Takes us to other business, of which there is none. Takes us to next month's reporting schedule. We will have the Jackson County Department of Transportation monthly report, Public Defender's quarterly, and 911's quarterly. Takes us to our second opportunity of public comment. I do not see members of the public, but I will ask again. Any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing none, public comment is closed. Takes us to committee member comments. Are there any committee member comments? Commissioner Bear.
Thank you, Chairman. Last month, the youth center failed to show. Can entities like that spend our tax dollars, can they just refuse to show up? Or do they get rescheduled and do they get told to show up and give their report?
I'll let Deborah speak to that, please.
So what happens is at the beginning of the year, the offices are given a schedule, which is typically the same every year for those offices. We try to balance the reports in the administrator's office so that a quarterly report may not always be in April or July. We try to balance out quarterly reports so that the agenda isn't overwhelming. But sometimes the schedule that we give out at the beginning of the year to the offices isn't conducive to something that comes up, for example, a conference that may be in October. We had a couple of people that requested to reschedule for this month because they had conferences or previous commitments or something, vacations. For example, Lydia, her report was supposed to be met last month, but she had a pre-planned vacation, so she asked to reschedule till October. So sometimes those get moved around based on the person doing the presentation, which is usually the department head or the elected official. So sometimes those do get moved around. If they submit a report and they don't show up, that's usually pretty unusual. I don't know what happened to the youth center last month, but he submitted his report, and I don't have an explanation. We didn't hear back from him, but he did submit a report. So, but sometimes they do get moved around based on somebody's schedule or if somebody's not available.
Okay, any other committee member comments? Seeing none, meeting adjourned.